How are you all doing? Greetings from the Peepo Coin channel. I hope you had a fantastic Monday. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It sounds insane that XRP will reach $10.00 in May, just 3 days away, until you see the timeline that has investors rushing, that is. This isn't just a Moonboy forecast. A genuine setup is taking place and receiving a lot of attention. You will need to stay longer if you own XRP because you must hear and watch this. Verify that you enjoyed the video. Keep up with this channel for the extremely cheap monthly cost of $4.99. Click the join button if you want to become a member. Ad-free travel is yours. No more Google advertisements. Additionally, you receive special attention during our live streams along with some awesome sick-ass emotes. Additionally, you back your preferred content producer. I hope that's who I am. Let's dissect this. The timing and how everything is going to change in front of your very eyes are topics we should discuss. 95,478 Bitcoin. Right now, it has increased 1.44% over the last day. Ethereum, which comes in at 1,825, is right behind it. Right now, it's up 0.83%. Both USDTN and USDC are trading at their respective dollar pegs, which is precisely where we want them to be in relation to our cherished XRP, arriving at a pitiful $2.30. Overnight, a little explosion occurred. The fact that it is currently up 6.54% pleases me. It suddenly appeared and burst out of its initial resistance range, which we discussed in today's first video. The market makers are engaging in the best kind of manipulation. That range was between $2.20 and $2.26. At about $2.50, we have plenty of space to run up and test our next resistant area. Many people ask me, how can I join RIP? I'd want to subscribe to the channel. I'd want to help you. I would like to join. Click the join button in any YouTube video. It only need that. Do it. Bada boom, bada beam. This was released by Wall Street Betting. I have no idea what this implies. I will be very open and honest with you. To tell the truth, I'm rather certain that he has some sort of artificial intelligence AI system that generates tweets on his account. He claims that the fact that 20% of the XRP's pre-sale was sold in a single day shows that cryptocurrency investors enjoy a good countdown, nearly as much as a high-quality pump. I'm not sure what he's discussing. No pre-sale is offered. Since I am very certain that this tweet will be removed, I grabbed a screenshot of it. Let's quickly return to his page. Let's have a look. Yes, it is no longer there. It's gone already. That's what we were most likely seeing right there. Disaster. Joe Katz, take a look at that. He followed my man James Rule. Take a look at that. However, he mentions Ripple. What does it signify? Take a look at his characterization of what happens when a financial company with a lot of grit tackles a web of betrayal and deceit in order to provide quick payments to the public. They discover that upending the existing quo comes at a greater cost than they could have ever anticipated, made them choose between surviving and preserving their vision. This is a really in-depth statement from David Schwartz, and in less than 30 minutes, 30 million XRP ETFs were traded. 30 million. Let me quickly explain this to you. We'd like to discuss how we perceive a double-digit XRP. Paul Atkins is being replaced as the head of the SEC by someone else. Stuart Alderati is here. I must show you the tweet I see. It will be pulled up. Stuart Alderati is here, and I watched the news this morning. I'll take it. Bam. This very moment, there is this news that has surfaced. Excuse me, but this Friday, Chris Larson, the executive of XRP, is scheduled to meet with Paul Atkins, the recently appointed chairman of the SEC, to discuss the possibilities of blockchain technology. In addition to that, the Rippleverse SEC case is set to conclude this summer, which will significantly impact XRP's price. We have 17, 18, and 19, and it's likely that 24 ETFs will launch. Another ETF is available. In a few days, this Futures Exchange Traded Fund, ETF, will go online. 2 ETFs will become that active as a result. However, keep in mind that those are not spot ETFs. What makes a spot ETF different? In reality, you must purchase and hold XRP. You are simply placing a wager on the future value of XRP and you invest in these future ETFs. In reality, no XRP is being handled. So far, 30 million people have invested in this one ETF that is active in forecasting the future price of XRP. However, No XRP is being bought. This means that having 24 ETFs, even if we assume that half of them go live, doesn't really help us, since when they start buying XRP, they will need to buy XRP for each of the 12 ETFs. People, what happened to the price? I don't think I need to explain, but the price increases because those ETFs are settled in XRP. For example, if you wanted to cash out on a Goldman Sachs ETF sale on XRP, you do so while providing your XRP because it's a spot ETF. The dollar is not given to you. You have it then. You win. You receive 2,000 XRP. I'm done when you say, okay, desire to leave. They will offer you more than 2,000 XRP, which means that in order to pay these ETF participants, they must physically purchase and retain XRP. Where is the tweet that was exchanged in the last 30 minutes if we are currently seeing 30 million? We'll say a dozen if we take 30 million and multiply it by that amount. The purchase price of XRP would be $360 million, 0 cents. Time will tell if that is done over the counter or if it will be listed on a public trading book. However, Ian, it will perform simple math if we mention half of that. XRP has been purchased with $150 million, 0 cents from these order books. People, what do you think will happen to the pricing here? See how fast things get out of hand and the costs start to rise. Meanwhile, some fear that cryptocurrency is dying, that it is a Ponzi scheme, and that it is a hoax. A publicly traded business called Coinbase is planning to introduce a new fund that will provide yield on Bitcoin, and all of the coins are emerging from a 140-day downward trend, the cryptocurrency rovers say. This is enormous. The most significant aspect of all of this is that, despite the fact that the entire cryptocurrency market is rising, Bitcoin has not yet experienced the same surge as these altcoins. I don't want to call them altcoins. The values of these other cryptocurrencies will rise in tandem with the price of Bitcoin. We'll see that money shift to alts once Bitcoin is finished partying and enjoying itself and surpasses that 70% domination. I discuss getting XRP as high as possible before the rotation starts for this reason. We observe a $4.0, $6.0 XRP before we begin to observe the flow of all this money, with all the liquidity moving from Bitcoin to altcoins, which is how we arrive at $10.0. May and June will be among the most explosive months for cryptocurrencies, particularly XRP. As we discussed in the first video, a Fed rate decrease would cause a huge influx of capital into the cryptocurrency space. Countries that are shut out of the global financial system, such as Iran, Russia, and Venezuela, frequently look to cryptocurrency rails to help them get around traditional finance or fast, USD-based trade. This is especially true when discussing trade restrictions or sanctions that force affected nations to turn to alternative financial systems. Biz will expand the number of real-world cryptocurrency use cases and hasten the adoption of decentralized finance worldwide. The real-world cryptocurrency use case of XRP is ideal for nations who are excluded from the global banking system. It also serves to emphasize how censorship-resistant cryptocurrencies are, drawing in new investors and generating interest in the market. Where liftoff is just above $3 when we look at the XRP chart, which is what we are about to see. One of the most significant changes in history is what we are going to see. Crypto is going to go completely crazy, and I am convinced that this is a real asset bull run, cryptocurrency that has a legitimate business based on it and is resolving